Accounts of the big diplomatic showdown facing the United Nations when the Palestinian bid for statehood is filed Friday, September 23rd, have been blown up and overdramatized. Neither the Security Council nor the UN General Assembly will be making any immediate decisions this week, and U.S. President Barack Obama will not be called on as yet to veto the Palestinian application. Therefore, the dispute over which side can muster the magic majority of 9 members is premature. Indeed, Debikov's diplomatic sources are assured that UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon and the United States, which holds the key to the tussle, have arranged to put the Palestinian application on hold, or more diplomatically, under consideration, a process which could consume weeks, if not months, before it is referred to the Security Council. In the volatile Middle East, a couple of months are a long time, though. The Arab uprisings have demonstrated how much can happen in a short period. After the Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delivered their speeches on Friday, the General Assembly is not expected to get right down to debating the Palestinian request. It will most likely be held in abeyance for the next session. A special session might be summoned in the interim, but that is the UN Secretary General's prerogative, and he normally makes these decisions in consultation with the White House. Therefore, the real diplomatic battle over the Palestinian drive for UN acceptance will not take place this week in the GA chamber where the speeches are made, but in Washington. The Obama administration has absurdly been maneuvered itself into the lead role for defeating the Palestinian claim for an independent state within the 1967 borders. Due to the U.S. leadership weakness, Russia is playing a hard-to-get and deliberately showing the momentum of Middle East diplomacy in protest against what Moscow sees as U.S. and European participation in the conquest of Libya, which has gone well beyond their UN Security Council mandate. The Russians were also obstructive on the Syrian issue. They torpedoed every Security Council resolution penalizing and condemning Bashar Assad for his barbaric methods in the suppressing dissent, maintaining they would not allow the West to repeat its Libya scenario in Syria. Now Moscow is trying to trap the United States into exercising the Security Council veto power against the Palestinian application for UN membership in order to support its claim that Washington maintains a double standard on the Middle East, defeating Palestinian independence on the one hand and preaching the Arab people's rights to oust their leaders in the name of independence on the other. With the clock ticking toward a showdown, Israel floated the possibility of an interim solution to allow the Palestinians to establish a state within existing borders in Gaza and the West Bank and deal with all the tough stuff later, reports CBS 2's Marcia Kramer. This is one possible solution whereby the situation, they get independence and we can continue and negotiate in the future, but with less acrimony and less mistrust, and as we continue to build a future together, Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister Danny Ayala said. In this scenario, the Israelis and Palestinians would still have to negotiate solutions to the difficult issues of final borders, the status of Jerusalem, the right of Palestinian refugees to return, and recognition of Israel as a Jewish state. If we can't come to a perfect solution at this point, we should discuss other things, Ayala said. This is certainly something that could be viable and could account for the 7-year peace accord the Bible contends. It may take 7 years to implement the statutes that come from negotiations. In the meantime, a state could be established while negotiations hammer out the remaining details. However, with the ongoing feud between U.S. and Palestinian leadership, it is likely the U.S. will turn over the handling of the negotiations to the EU. The U.S. has simply lost all credibility with the Arab world. I have to believe they will have to lead this campaign in the shadows of the EU. The Bible says, a leader who finally confirms peace with Israel, and many will come out of the revived Roman Empire. But before that takes place, we may be in the beginning stages of a large-scale Middle East uproar. If the UN recognition final vote is really weeks away, we could be looking at violence that could go to the brink of war. With little to no money to pay Palestinian security forces, Israel may be faced with using what the world will deem as excessive force against Palestinian civilians. That would most certainly be followed by cries of war crimes. You can be sure that the next few weeks will be very volatile. This is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.